Royalty right now is steaming with news about Prince Andrew. Yes, that Prince Andrew is back in the headlines, and not for charity galas or ribbon cutting. No, his name, like others, is rising like steam because of the Jeffrey Epstein case and the release of documents that refuse to stay quiet. Let's get into how we got here. Why is his name keep popping up? And why this saga feels like the world's most uncomfortable conversation to talk about. But first,
comes on Andrew's 66th birthday. The former prince, who was stripped of his royal titles late last year over his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, is now in custody, being questioned on suspicion of misconduct in public office, a serious charge that on conviction carries a life prison sentence. Police arrested him at his home on one of the King's royal estates this morning, a few hours outside of London. They're now carrying out searches at 2 addresses in that area. They're also assessing reports that the former royal sent sensitive trade reports to the billionaire pedophile back in 2010, confidential information about investment opportunities around the world, including Afghanistan and Hong Kong. Multiple police departments across the UK have previously said they were reviewing ties between Andrew and Epstein, including allegations that a woman was trafficked here to the UK by Epstein to have a sexual encounter with the King's brother. Andrew, always denying any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein, says he regrets their friendship.
So Prince Andrew has been under scrutiny for years because of his association with Jeffrey Epstein. And every time Epstein files get updated, unsealed, or re-examined, Andrew's name somehow float right back to the surface like a rubber duck in a bathtub. We're talking photos, timelines, travelogues, interviews, and that infamous BBC interview that lives in the Hall of Fame of PR disaster. Let's take a listen.
Of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
So you're absolutely sure that you're at home on the 10th of March?
Yeah.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
She provided a photo of the two of you together.
Yes.
Your arm was around her waist.
Yes.
You've seen the photo?
I've seen the photograph.
How do you explain that?
I can't. Because I have absolutely no memory of that photograph ever being taken.
Do you recognise yourself in the photo?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult not to recognise yourself.
Your friend suggested that the photo is fake.
I think it's, from the investigations that we've done, you can't prove whether or not that photograph is faked or not, because it is a photograph of a photograph of a photograph. I have no recollection of...
So you heard it. Former Prince Andrew, now Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, was arrested on his 66th birthday on suspicion of misconduct in public office, an arrest directly triggered by the explosive release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. For those of you who do not know who Jeffrey Epstein is, he was an American financier and convicted ex-offender who gained notoriety for his connections to numerous high-profile individuals, including politicians, celebrities, and royalty. He was born here in Brooklyn, New York in 1953. Now, Epstein was the first convicted in 2008 for solicitation of prostitution involving a minor, a case that resulted in a controversial plea deal. Despite his conviction, he continued to maintain a lavish lifestyle and a high-profile connection. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again on federal charges of trafficking minors. These charges allege that he had abused dozens of underage girls and orchestrated a network of trafficking. Epstein's 2019 arrest brought renewed attention to his case, and many powerful individuals allegedly involved. Now, his demise in the Manhattan jail in August of 2019 was ruled a suicide, added further intrigue and controversy, sparking numerous conspiracy theories and called for deeper investigation into his activities and his connections. So, Epstein's life and crimes have become the focal point for discussion about power, privilege, and the legal system's treatment of influential figures. This moment wasn't random. It was the culmination of years of allegations, public pressure, and newly unsealed documents that painted a clear picture of Andrew's involvement with Epstein. For this reason, authorities arrested Andrew on suspicion of misconduct in public office, a charge that can apply when a public figure abuses their position, fails to act properly, or engages in inappropriate conduct connected to their official role. Now, in Andrew's case, the arrest followed how it ties to the Epstein files. The connection is direct and undeniable. The Epstein files released by the U.S. Department of Justice reunited scrutiny of Andrew's long-questioned relationship with Epstein. These newly released documents from the DOJ contain millions of pages tied to Epstein's operations, emails exchanged showing Andrew's continued communication with Epstein even after Epstein's conviction, evidence of meetings, travel, and social ties that contradicted Andrew's previous public statement. Worse, there were emails between Andrew and Epstein, including messages where Andrew congratulated Epstein on his quote-unquote new life ahead after house arrest and even offered him to visit him in Paris. Now, associated with Jeffrey Epstein before and after Epstein conviction. So, survivors' testimonies, which played a big part in this, and investigative notes that place Andrews and Epstein orbit during key periods. And not to mention the renewed public and political pressure, including calls from anti-royal groups for accountabilities. These files released, they created a political and public firestorm, forcing British authorities to act. At this point, Andrew's connection to Epstein isn't speculation, it's documented. They were photographed together. They traveled in the same social circles. Epstein visited the royal properties, and the newly released files included references to Andrew that reunited public interest and calls for accountability. Now, the reason his name keeps trending? It's simple. The files keep expanding, survivors' testimonies keep resurfacing, and the public wants transparency, especially when powerful people are involved. This whole situation is bigger than one royal. It's about power, privilege, and the way society reacts when wealthy, well-connected people are tied to criminals and criminal investigations. Every time the Epstein case reopens, it forces a conversation about who gets held accountable and who doesn't. As Andrew's name floats to the top of that Epstein culture, there are many others who still need to be held accountable, or at the very least, answer questions. And this comes on the heels of King Charles III had already stripped Andrews of his princely titles in 2025 amid growing scrutiny. After the arrest, the the palace expressed deep concerns and pledged full cooperation with authority. Andrew was released under investigation but remains under intense public and legal pressure. This marks one of the most dramatic scandals in modern royal history, a moment where the monarchy's internal handling of misconduct collided with public demand for transparency.
A member of the royal family is extraordinary. It's considered unprecedented in the modern history of the British monarchy.
So what do you think? Are these new Epstein files going to push the conversation into a new chapter? Drop your thoughts below, because this story is far from over and the internet has questions, and so do I.
Okay, that's it, and thank you for watching, fam. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. The drama never sleeps, and neither do we. Catch you in the next one, and bye for now.